You already know who she is, what she does. Let's jump back into part 2 of this interview.
What do you find more common with black dudes, Asian dudes, white dudes, what have you?
Black men are the one thing that stands out to me is that black men are always trying it for the first time.
Okay.
They're trying for the first time, they're nervous, and that's okay. You know, everybody's nervous, especially in a situation where you're paying somebody for a service, such as domination. So I found that black men, it was the first time and the first time because they can't go to their wife. That's the common denominator with all of the men, is that they can't take this kink to their wife. They can't take this kink to their girlfriend. Black men, I just found out it was their first time. And they always, even if they wanted to be flogged, which is beating for in layman's terms, if they wanted to be flogged, they wanted to be spanked, if they wanted to wrestle, I'm just going over my client list in my head. If they wanted to go over those, if they wanted to do those things, at the end, black men also wanted to fuck, which is not allowed. So I would always have to kind of end the session on a softer note, like, okay, like, we only got about 10 minutes left. What do you want to do next? And then that's when we have a discussion about me not fucking him.
Why is it not allowed?
So that was, because that's not what it's about. It's not about, I make the rules.
Okay.
I am in control. You don't get to tell me what you want to do. Now, we will have a session to discuss what your kinks are and what you expect out of your session, but that's because I give good customer service. I'm not going to just do whatever I want to do. I need to know where you are on the scale. You know, if you're at level 10 and you want me to tie you down, spank you, open the curtains so everybody can see you, you know, that's not okay with everybody. Right. So I do like to have a discussion about that, but the sex is not a part of domination. The domination is the sex. Being in control, being submissive, the man being submissive and being on a leash and having, you know, I had an all-day appointment once where I just wrapped the man over and over and over again in saran wrap all day. He wanted to be as tight as he possibly could. Just, I was afraid. I was like, so what do we...
What he wanted you to put him into a cocoon?
Yeah, it was just like that. I mean, because when we have session, we're going to have an all day session where we're going to have more than an hour long session. Even an hour long session, I will book 30 minutes prior for you so we can sit down and have a conversation about it. You know, you're paying me for that time too. Let's not get it twisted. Right. Because going forward, what if you don't like what I do? What if you don't like, oh, you know what, actually, I don't think that I want that. I'm just gonna pass, because that happens too. But I still got $100 for 30 minutes of talking.
Right.
And discussion. So all day appointment, we sat down and he said, this is what I want to do. He showed me pictures. That's what I always tell him. Show me pictures. Send me your porn links of what you want to do. And I didn't get it. I was like, what is he talking about? Like, just wrap you up. Okay. But
he sent you pictures of sandwiches.
Yeah, he sent me pictures of people like kind of with saran wrap around their legs, but not like their whole body. So I didn't understand what exactly it was that he wanted. And once we sat down and he brought his own everything, you know, saran wrap, rope, a gag ball, handcuffs. He brought all this stuff with him, a whole fucking suitcase, and just broke it down for me. I said, okay, let's do it. It was just an easy day. It's an easy day. That's an easy day at the office. All I'm going to do is wrap you up, talk shit to you while I wrap you up, and talk. I mean, he was just wrapped up on the table, and I tweeted a picture of him. So I
you
believe
tweeted a
that was
picture
my
of
first
him?
time ever doing that. I did. I tweeted a picture. I mean, his face wasn't in it, but I tweeted a picture of his body and tied up or saran wrapped. Wow. So there's different levels, of kink. That is not sexy to me. That doesn't turn me on, but the money did.
Yeah.
That was fine with me.
Wow, that's
yeah.
You made him into a cocoon.
He just wanted to be in a fucking cocoon. Hella funny.
That's cool.
I don't judge anyone, and that's the thing. I don't judge anyone. I'm very judgment free.
Right.
I'm not, even if in my head I'm like, what the fuck? But I look at people with an open eye. Okay, that's what they're into. I might not be into that, but that's something that turns them on, and that's okay. It's okay. We're all different. So I'm not that person that's like judgy. So that's why I do get clientele from Twitter as well, because they know that I'm not, judgmental.
Do you have like an office you go to, or you just you make house calls? Like where is your dungeon?
It depends. In Houston, I had my own space for that. I had a space dedicated to that. Here, now that I'm in California, we're either going to go to a hotel, which is fine because I travel with my toys.
Right.
So we can go to a hotel because you're going to be coming and you're going to be flying in to see me. But regulars, people that I've seen several times, I will go to their house. I don't ever do that. I don't do that with first-time clients. I don't recommend anyone ever really do that. I don't like going into someone else's playground.
Right.
But for somebody that I've seen for a year, yeah, I can go to their house because I know what time it is.
Right. All right. So getting back to the website. So on the website, you're going to be telling stories. Do you have an idea of what the first story you might have featured on your website?
Is just going to set the tone as far as my coming into sexuality.
Okay.
Which is the story of how I lost my virginity.
Okay.
So, which would be, I was 12 years old. Everybody's so crazy shocked to hear that. I guarantee you, these days with social media, kids are fucking probably younger.
Right.
Anywho, so I was 12 years old. He was 14.
Okay.
And he was a neighborhood boy, and I really liked him. And I always knew that I've always been sexually aware of my body parts. My breasts, because I got teased in 3rd grade because they were big. Mm-hmm. And I've had played with my pussy at a younger age. So I knew that there was something there. I didn't understand the anatomy, but I knew that it felt good.
Okay.
So the story will just be about me, and I guess I can use his name is Joe.
Oh, okay.
Really, literally.
So we're not changing names to protect the innocent, huh?
We normally change names, but it's been so long,
Shout out to Joe.
Who cares?
Shout out to Joe. So Joe is solely responsible for you building such a quote unquote lucrative empire.
Yeah, I would say that he is responsible for me pussy popping. Yes. Popping this pussy. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And so the story will just be in depth about, walking from my parents or leaving from my parents' house, meeting him up the street, walking to the school, which is where I lost my virginity.
At the school?
Laying on at a school. It was like Saturday. It was, I know the exact date.
Wow.
It was July 7th, 1997. I remember it being all sevens.
So this was in the
So,
summer. Okay, well.
hmm so school was out, and I think he was looking for a place. He knew we were gonna have sex. We had been talking about it, on the not on cell phone, on the home phone, very discreetly, because your parents can pick up the phone at any
Right.
moment
So
here.
kids today know nothing about that. But
Nothing about.
you had to develop that ear to where you could hear
Yeah,
when someone kind of picks it up, right?
picks up the phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Kids don't know anything about that. Like if we had cell phones back then, like yo.
I'm actually glad there was no social media, because I was already like slutting it up in high school. Like I was known as the girl who was easy, the girl who would fuck. So I can't even imagine the nudes that would have gone around of me,
Oh yeah.
or the videos of me sucking dick, or all of that. All of that stuff was always word of mouth. So being that it was word of mouth, there was no evidence of me sucking dick or evidence of dudes running a train on me. There was no evidence of that. So, except for my journals, I should say.
Well, yeah, it's written down somewhere in the archives.
It is.
I mean, until now,
So
but
just
then again,
going
it's just
back,
me and you.
yeah, just a fun conversation.
Yeah.
So circling back to the first time I had sex, the story will be just about, how we were on the phone. Then we meet up down the street because, my parents didn't want me around boys because they already knew I was boy crazy. They already
Oh,
knew.
they already knew what the business was.
Oh yeah, my parents knew I was boy crazy. I was boy crazy at just really in almost like in sixth grade.
Wow.
I just like boys. I like to be around boys. And in elementary school, I had boys over, like sneaking in the window. I got in trouble, but it wasn't for sex. It was because I liked boys. I liked being around boys, and I like the almost like the popularity that comes with being with boys.
Right.
I was that girl that hung out with the boys, but I was also fucking them, and other girls weren't having sex. So I was at a higher level than them.
Right.
Not in elementary school, but
right.
So the story would
High
just
school
be
when everybody else was fucking and MTV was glorifying it.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because I jokingly have tweeted that my friends were learning recipes in home ec, and I was reading Cosmo to learn how to suck dick.
Wow.
And that's real.
I'm not a fan of Cosmo.
My dick sucking skills over years.
I'm not a fan of Cosmo. I probably won't be getting any Cosmo sponsorship. But
no.
Yeah.
I mean, that was only magazine as a kid that only talked about sex.
Right.
That was the only magazine that talked about sex in the 90s and the early 2000s when I was in high school.
Right.
But again, just circling back to the website, and the initial story that I'll post is about just how I lost my virginity. I felt like it was a little taboo because I was young, and the story utilizes a 12-year-old girl,
right?
But it's a 12-year-old me. So it's not to be confused with any sort of child pornography,
right,
or child erotica. It's truly a story of myself when I was 12 years old and how I lost my virginity.
It's not you glorifying or you saying that, hey, this is okay. I think you are at liberty to give an account of your life as it happened, and that's simply all it is you just, this is what happened, and this just happened to be the age that it was.
Right.
Okay.
And it just all opened up from there. I fucked him, and I met his friend, and fucked him and his friend. I started dating his friend, and I fucked his friend and his brothers, and I remember very vividly at a baseball dugout, his friends I was laying and I was in the dugout and they were all coming in one by one, fucking me in the dugout. I was the train girl, definitely.
Do you enjoy that?
I did enjoy it. I liked the attention and I liked the way I felt. Even though I didn't understand orgasms, which is why I don't recommend anyone under the age of 18 really having sex, because they don't know how to really reach their orgasm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I knew that it felt good. My clit was aroused. My breasts were aroused. I liked fucking multiple men at once. Or I liked the idea of one coming in, one going out, one coming in, It'd rather be a threesome with 2 men or a train one at a time. I liked it.
What's the longest you've gone without sex since you started having sex?
That's a good question. I think that there was a time where I was so sick of men, so annoyed with trying to find the one, trying to be a fucking the American dream, let me get married and have some kids. I was so sick of trying to chase that I called myself being celibate, but I can't even remember when that was. I can't even remember when that was and how long it had been. I would say the longest I've probably gone without sex was 8 months. 8 solid months.
Okay. All right. Well, clearly you're back at it, and there won't be any
never
more.
That shit again.
Right. So your podcast, you mentioned that. What's the format of your podcast, and how is that going to differ, if at all, from your website?
Well, I'm still playing with different ideas. I would like to tell stories so that you can hear my voice as I tell the story. Maybe even some sound effects with the stories.
Okay.
And because I think it's important for people to hear my voice with the stories. Sometimes,
absolutely,
I do like having people read it. I like having them read because they can set their own, even though they may know that the story is about me. Men may think of other women may think of themselves as me and another man. So I like the reading because it stimulates your true imagination, and the voice is just easier. Just listening to me tell the story is just easier. It's something you can listen to while nobody else is. Something you can listen to without having to necessarily read it. You can be in the shower listening to my podcast. You can be just lounging around at work with your earbuds in, listening to my podcast versus having your head down looking at the phone.
Right.
You can listen to the podcast while doing other things online. And there may be a few moments where you're like, wait a minute, I need to stop what the fuck I'm doing. Did she just say she was sucking his dick from the back? Like, did she just say that? Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I do. So the podcast and the website will go hand in hand. There may be times where I just do podcasts, or there may be times where because I'm going to always write the stories. I have written the stories in full-length format. I just haven't posted them yet. And it was never something that I wrote and then tweeted. It was always me lounging around in my bed, waiting for a client to call and tweet my stories one by one. And it took me like 2 hours. So,
okay.
I miss those days so much. And I know people miss my stories. I get mentions all the time asking. I just favorite them and I reply to them privately. Or I favorite them and just kind of teeter on the idea of just doing a story right then. But it does take some dedication, and it does. And I hate to not have that block of time available. So
I'll tell you, like, I'll be scrolling my timeline, and it's really hard to not stop what you're doing to go back and read, because I mean they're interesting and it's fascinating, it's polarizing, it's awesome. So I think,
and they're all true.
Right, exactly. and I think that's what matters most. So, when you're able to get back to that in a long form, I think that'll be appreciated. Particularly being able to read them in your voice. I think that creates a certain connection with your audience. So yeah, and definitely I want to have you back on when you get that launched, and anything I can do to help you promote it, I certainly will do that. And I wouldn't mind being on your show
I
either.
appreciate that. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great, and we should do kind of like this again.
Yeah. We'll
just back
do
and
that.
forth talking without me saying a lot. I say that so much. I know it's annoying, but
it's fine. I mean,
it's just me trying to gather my thoughts before I speak.
Right, and so what I'd like to do is, because like you, from time to time I'll tweet out a story, and it's, I don't know, it just sort of happens at random. So I'll probably tell a story or two, on your show. So that'll work.
What's your favorite story of mine that you've read, if you can remember?
Let me think. The only thing that's stuck in my head right now is what you most recently did with your audio, but I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? There was one. I can't remember the city, but you. Let me see if I can remember. You met up with the guy, and I think he surprised you with how I think he surprised you, if I remember right. He surprised you with how good the sex was, or something like that. And I remember I know what it was. I remember there being a lot of head involved. I remember that.
That's normal.
Well, no, but there was something about this one, because that was the focal point. I don't know if it was he didn't think
it could have been the UPS driver. Valentine's Day.
Yeah. I think that is the one. Yeah.
Because that was mainly what I did with him, was suck his dick. Some of my stories I have to cut short because I may have sucked his dick, but I also fucked him there, And so I cut him short because I'm live tweeting them, and the story's gone on for hours, and people are like, "Oh my God, get to the end!" And I always want to make sure the ending is satisfying as well. So I like to cut them off at certain points. But the UPS man was actually delivering a gift from one of my Twitter followers, and I sucked his dick in the shower.
There was a couple, but that one, I think that's the one that stood out the most. I'm trying to think of another one. I think there was one where you and the guy had been flirtatious. Y'all had been playing around or flirting or whatever, and you guys finally met up. Again, I can't remember the city, and I don't know if it was a matter of you were thinking that he was timid, and he showed you that he really wasn't. It was something like that, but that was amazing.
That sounds like Atlanta.
That's the one. That's the one. Because in my mind, when I'm thinking, I can't remember the city. I'm thinking maybe it might have been Atlanta. Yep, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, that sounds like Atlanta. That was with the Twitter follower. That was the first Twitter follower that I fucked.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Which, again, people, I'm in Atlanta. That was not me. That was not me. I see the tweets. It was not me. Everybody that comes to Atlanta, they don't come to see me. No, I'm just playing.
I try to keep him on the low because he's slightly high profile. So I told the story, but I wonder what I named him in the story, because I do change the names. Whatever. Our story will be on the website. All the stories that I've tweeted are going to be in long form on the website. Some may feature more details, and because you're so limited with 140 characters.
Right.
But I think people will enjoy rereading those. And some people never even seen my stories before the first story that they read. Neighbor bitch, was a huge story. That I still get people tweeting me like, or I'll see random tweets on my timeline like, remember that neighbor bitch story? That was ridiculous. Certain men talking shit, or certain women saying, I can't believe she cheated on her husband and fucked her neighbor. I mean, still, even to this day, or I'll get there's one Twitter follower still that calls me neighbor bitch, and I think it's funny. But I mean, that was a true story. Me and that guy are still friends. I mean, all my stories are true, so there's no way that you can duplicate. People say, "Oh, she's taking that from a Zane book." No,
right.
no. These are my true experiences that me and my pussy have experienced. So you can't take that away from me. You can't.
Exactly.
Now, as vivid as I'm describing it, if you don't like that, I don't understand why, but don't read it. Don't fucking read my shit. Because I was pussy popping on that dick. And I'm just telling you about it.
So let's get into that. Let's talk about let's talk specifically about Twitter and some of the I don't know, I guess the hypocrisies, sexism on Twitter, how you've experienced that. And I know it annoys me too.
It's crazy how I will tweet, suck his dick when he comes home. Suck his dick without telling him that when he comes home, get on your knees, suck his dick when he walks in the door. Oh, you a hoe. Which I can't even understand. First of all, I'm giving advice to women. I don't even understand why a man's calling me
I'm doing
out.
you a service.
And then there's right. And then I have women who are saying, "Oh, that's doing too much," or "Oh, I gotta block her. I'm tired of her shit." But then there's a man who says, "Ladies, in order to please your man, make sure you suck his dick when he comes home." And then they'll retweet with the fucking hands in the air and shit like that's gospel. Like, oh yes, that's 100. It's just so. It's just sexist to me, and it is hypocrisy. Or me talking about sucking dick, and then a bitch tries to talk about me being a sex worker as if I'm supposed to be ashamed of that. Tries to talk about me being a sex worker and talk about me doing hoe shit and tries to belittle my character. Next week, she comes across my timeline. She's talking about sucking dick. She's talking about fucking different niggas. It's just so don't hate me if you ain't me type. Or you hate me because you ain't me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very open and I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I say it off the cuff. But don't take what I say and call me a hoe. But when a man tweets it, you say, "Oh, that's gospel," or that's truth. 100, he real. I hate. Oh my God, you have no idea. Sometimes I just have to log completely the fuck off when I see that shit. Or a dude who calls me a hoe, but you tweeting the same type of shit like me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you talking about fucking different bitches or bitches and hoes and bitches. But the second I say it's raw dick weekend, I'm about to go get some raw dick this weekend. I'm a hoe. I'm nasty. But your pull-out game strong. What's the difference?
Right.
You're fucking somebody raw if you're talking about your pull-out game.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about getting fucked raw, and I'm nasty. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man.
Why do you think the women...
I'm not here for it.
Why do you think some women on Twitter are like that?
It's almost like a good girl syndrome. I don't want to... I'm fascinated by it, because they are. They just don't want to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fascinated by it, but I don't want to tweet that and make the men that I do talk to on Twitter think I'm a hoe or I'm like her or I think like her. I want to distance myself from being whatever a hoe is, because the hoe is used so much on Twitter. I just can't even take it.
I've really been thinking about muting the word hoe, to be honest with you, because it's taken so out of context.
You won't get no tweets.
Oh. I've gone on record and said this like, uh, my woman got to have some hoe in her, like.
Oh God.
So.
And what's hoe shit to you might not be hoe shit to me. Me fucking two dudes is regular to me.
Right.
But to you, that might be hoe shit. That's not hoe shit to me. That's regular as fuck.
I don't know.
But again, that comes from me being 13, 14, 15, having, being the girl who's getting trains ran on her. So that is regular.
I don't know. It's just, it's so perplexing because it's like, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Like, so many people are afraid to enjoy themselves sexually for fear of what some artificial, quote unquote, artificial intelligent person on an app. You know what I mean? Because it's like the people on Twitter, people are real to you when you make them real to you. You know what I mean? Like you could just, if you don't like what they're saying, you could just, you could close out the app. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but it's crazy. Like you
I speak so much real.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say like, and I think what pisses them off is that you tweet what you tweet from your experiences and you're unapologetic about it.
Right.
And while you're judgment free, they're looking to put you on the stand and judge the fuck out of you. So
Right. And it gives them a place to judge. It gives them someone to blame.
Right.
Just the other day, we were talking about dating, and I said, you guys don't date more than one person at a time? And somebody said, women do, hoes don't, or women do, you're thinking of hoes. Like,
there's nothing wrong with playing. There's nothing wrong with playing the numbers.
What the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense to me. When you're dating, I just met you, nigga. Do you think that I'm about to fucking drop everybody that I fucking have been talking to before you in order to give you put all my eggs in one basket? I never do that.
Right.
Not even with my boyfriend. Not even with my husband. I always keep at least 2 or 3 for me, if not half the dozen.
Right.
But it just goes back to the hypocrisy that is Twitter. Women like to read sex coming from a man. They don't like to read it coming from a woman because they've been slut shamed their whole life.
That's interesting.
They've been told girls, good girls don't do this, good girls don't do that. I see the tweets all the time like, my future wife is in a library somewhere.
Shit.
Not in the club with you hoes. Not in the club with you hoes. Like, come on. Get the fuck out of here with that. Actually, your future wife could be sucking your dick if you wasn't so fucking stupid.
Exactly.
But people, they like what they like. I'm a judgment-free person. I just don't like being judged. I don't care if I'm judged because I'm always me at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And at the morning, and at the beginning of the day, the middle of the day, all throughout the fucking day, I'm me. So what you don't like doesn't. Your opinion about me is none of my business.
Exactly.
It's just simple as that.
Let's change gears a little bit.
Stop being a hypocrite. I hate it.
Let's change gears a little bit. In general, just anything. What matters most to you?
I know it sounds cliche, but being happy is what matters to me. Whether you're happy sucking dick or you're happy reading a book, whatever's happy for you. For me, happiness is being able to travel, being able to write, not necessarily punching a clock, but if I do have to punch a clock, it needs to be where I want to be, at the company I want to be with.
Right. Do you want to get married?
I have about 4 weddings that I've planned on Pinterest, so I would say
For the same guy?
Yeah, for the same guy, for my current boyfriend. Yeah, my current boyfriend. He's the only man outside of my ex-husband. I mean, I wanted to marry him as just a young girl,
Right.
probably fantasy, just, I'm supposed to get married at this age. But my boyfriend is the only man that I've ever wanted to have a child with and I want to marry. But I ain't heard from that nigga all day. So, shit. Dick sucking 101 with my future happening tonight.
Say that marriage might not be happening again, huh?
No, I ain't heard from that nigga all day. Like, what the fuck is you doing?
Oh, man.
It's good, though. I ain't gonna call him, because that ain't me.
Do you have any regrets?
Do I have any regrets? There I go again. But I would say I have regrets in the moment, in a particular moment.
What do you mean?
For example, I lost a job that I was working due to my irresponsibility.
Okay.
Just leave it at that.
Okay.
And at that moment, I regretted being irresponsible, not knowing the next month, the next week, the next year, that losing that job set me up for a better situation.
Okay.
So my regrets are in the moment. And I've learned and I've lived through enough pain and lived through enough drama to know that truly a setback is a setup for a comeback. It is. So I don't regret anything in my past because it's truly shaped who I am today. So, but my regret is in the moment. Like, damn, I shouldn't have fucked that dude last night. Like, I love my boyfriend. I shouldn't have fucked him. Right? Like, I did have that thought when I left Dallas. I fucked old boy, sucked him day and night. And then when I got back to Cali, my boyfriend was there with a rose and a bear and like, oh, you know, baby, I missed you.
You asshole.
Yeah, I know. So at that moment, I regretted it. But today, I ain't heard from him all day, so I don't give a fuck. You see how that works?
Yeah. What's the biggest lesson you've learned?
The biggest lesson I've learned is to remain positive.
Really?
I know I sound so cliche when you say remain positive, but there was a time where I lost another job because, you know, we all base our lives around jobs and income and money. But I lost a job and the same day that I was going to a Beyonce concert, who is queen and everything to me. And because
shout out to the Beehive.
I lost the job, shout out.
Yeah, you won't catch Beehive slander on this podcast. I need the listenership.
Yeah, that's not smart. It'll go down in flames. So I lost a job same day I was going to a Beyonce concert. So it was, damn, I lost my fucking job. But I'm about to fucking go see Beyonce tonight. So I ain't even got time to fucking fuck with that thought. I don't even have time to fuck with that negative thought. And I carried that energy with me from that day forward. That was a turning point for me. I didn't tell anybody I lost my job. That was another lesson I learned. When you tell people that you lost your job, or when you tell people you're going to quit your job, they start projecting their fears and their doubts onto you and start making you think that their fears are your fears and their doubts become your doubts.
Right.
So
that's strong.
I've learned to just keep it on the low. Like, I'm straight hoeing. Like, pussy popping. My best friend in Houston was, helping me get my whole business together in Houston, anyways. And I didn't tell nobody. I was surviving. I was making crazy money. I had all this free time. I was really happy with that. I look back on that, and that was one of my happiest times in my life. When you categorize, I was happy at this age, I was happy at this age, I was happy when I was doing this. Hoeing definitely is on that list. So keeping your failures to yourself is important. Keeping your goals to yourself is important.
Yeah.
Not letting people not telling people, just not having negative thoughts. You have negative thoughts, but you got to have them in a moment and push past that shit.
Okay. So, all right. So here's one. So you've dealt with married men before, and in some cases, probably even married women. What advice would you have for? Because I'm sure they talk to you. I'm sure the married men talk to you. What advice would you have for women to help keep their relationship strong, based on what you've learned from dealing with married men and why they might come to you?
Be his friend. Be his. Even if you are judgmental of him, this is the lesson. Even if you don't like certain shit that he does, even if you judge him based on his friends or judge his friends, judge people, never let him know that. Because he won't bring everything to you. Nobody ever brings everything to someone anyway. But when you have a situation where your boyfriend likes certain things, shut the fuck up. I hate that. But during the game, he just wants you to be quiet so that he can, and bring him hot wings and watch TV, right? That's an example. But you hate that. Don't let him know that. I would say that, sure, you can voice your concerns, but what I would do is wear lingerie and serve my boy, serve my man, and then go and buy my own business. Or at night when he, brushes his teeth and leaves the tooth cap, the cap of the toothpaste off. Don't make small arguments over little shit like that. Don't tell him that he's dirty when he is dirty, even though he's dirty. I don't know how to phrase that better. I should phrase that better, I should say. If you're about to suck his dick and his balls are dirty, don't fucking be like, damn, your fucking balls stink. What the fuck? No, baby, come on, baby, let's take a bath. I think that men are sensitive more than they would like to admit.
We have feelings too.
So when the person, right. So when the person that you're with judges you because of something like your balls being dirty because you've been at work all day, I don't know, or you don't know how to put the cap on the toothpaste, or you don't want me in your space when you're watching the game. When a person kind of judges you based on those characters, there's other women that aren't judging them based on that. You have to know that there's other women out there that will gladly serve it. Like I said, for me, I serve my man lingerie all the time. When we're home on Saturday like this and we're lounging and it's fight night or if the playoffs is on, I'm dolled the fuck up. And I'm serving him in lingerie. Now, that's just a way for me to show my love. Not all women want to do that. Not all women feel the need to do that. But it's just a way for me to let him know I might have been talking shit all week, but today is your day. So I think my advice to women is be his friend and don't judge him. His friends don't judge him for the fucked up shit that he does. His friends don't judge him for fucking a girl that they all met at the club and then going home to you. His friends don't judge him. So Don't judge him so that he can bring certain things to your attention without expecting a ridiculous reaction.
That's a gem. That was beautiful. That's awesome. Did we miss anything? Anything else you want to cover that I hadn't touched on?
I think you're a great interviewer, actually. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah, we didn't necessarily really miss anything. I know that this will be, played at a later date, but it is fight night.
Yeah.
And I want to know who you're going for.
All right. Well, you put me on the spot. Okay. All right. So by the time this comes out, I will have either been proven right or I will have been proven wrong. But that's okay. I can do this. So there's a part of me that just, I don't think it's smart to go against the dude that's never lost. On the other hand, I've always felt like if he was going to lose, it would be to Manny Pacquiao. I've stayed neutral.
That's decision making time.
All right, so I'm gonna be real specific. I'm going with Manny Pacquiao. Well, Pacquiao's not gonna knock him out. I already know that. It's gonna be Pacquiao, and it's gonna come to a decision. He's gonna knock him out, not knock him out. He's gonna win in decision. Pacquiao ain't knocked anybody out in 5 years, so I think it was like 5 years. I had my stat people check that out, but I know he ain't knocked anybody out in a long time. So yeah, I think I'm going with Pacquiao.
Okay, you're going with Pacquiao.
Yeah.
I would say if it was Pacquiao, it would be because, one, that would generate a rematch.
Yeah.
So more money. Two, with all the things going on with black people these days, they cannot wait to see a black man get his undefeated record thrown out.
Yeah. But you know what?
So politics, mine is not based on the actual sport and who's better. I know that everything has politics in it. And I think that is what would be the deciding factor of the fight if Pacquiao doesn't get knocked out. I mean, I don't really like Mayweather because he's an arrogant asshole and he's a woman beater. So I don't like his personality. But if I had to strip away that and I had to strip away, I don't really know shit about Pacquiao except for he's weird looking. But I would just go with the black man because I'm black. I mean, I'm not even going to front.
Well,
that's why I would go with Pacquiao. With Mayweather.
Here's the thing. I'm fully aware of what Mayweather's history is as far as relationships is concerned. I can compartmentalize. I don't necessarily want to see him lose because I think the fact that he's undefeated for this long is cool. I think that's a cool, from the sports fanatic that's in me. I don't want to see him lose, but I think Pacquiao is going to take this one. I really do.
I don't remember the last fight Pacquiao really had. I remember there being fucking memes all over where he was knocked out flat on his face. I don't know if that was the last fight he had or
that was
just a few years ago.
There were the two most recent Pacquiao fights. One of them, he clearly won because I saw the number. He threw more punches, he landed more punches, but yet the decision said he lost. I think that was the second one.
Was that against that black guy?
I can't remember who it was against. The knockout one where he was face first down, I want to say that happened before then. I think that was the fight before. Because I remember him bouncing back. So it was 3 fights ago. Because I remember him bouncing back. He didn't knock somebody out, but it was he's coming into this fight with a win. So yeah. With the memes that were saying, Manny, are you okay? Manny, are you okay? Manny, are you okay? Are you okay, Manny?
Easily. Yeah, so I'm getting dolled up. I know you about to get dolled up for a fight party. I can't. I used to post pictures of myself on Twitter all the time, like, just tweet pictures, until I seen someone took like my head and put it on somebody else's body and was like,
that's
like
whack.
a kid's body, not a like. Yeah, they fuck with me a lot. That's why I talk about, when it goes back to talking about the sexism and the hypocrisy that is Twitter. They talk shit about me a lot, but the men, they don't really get that treatment.
Well, the thing is, though, the point is they're talking about you. People don't talk about anybody that ain't about some type of shit.
Yeah.
If you didn't matter, people wouldn't talk about you. You matter.
Yeah.
And that probably some people, probably intimidated, or they're afraid of that. So, my saying, I always say, people can handle that the best way they can.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm cool as shit. I think you can attest to that. I'm real cool, laid back. I'm not this, I got X amount of followers, so I'm better than you, which there are people on there like that, but that's not me, because that shit don't really, just like everybody else, I started out with 1 follower. Exactly. So that don't make you shit. Don't make you shit.
You are definitely good people. Before we get out of here, I know the website, divamonroe.com, coming soon. Is there anything else you want to plug? You want to tell anybody out where can they find you? Anything?
Well, yes, you can. Everybody should know that they can find me on Twitter at Diva Monroe, the number 2, the letter U, ho.
Okay.
Which is pimpin' ain't easy, but I make it look easy.
That's Diva Monroe to you, ho.
Yeah. And that's it. I'm laid back. My DMs is open for business, and I live in PayPal, California. So,
well, there you go.
You know what that means.
Absolutely. All right. Well, cool. I this has been wonderful. All right. So we'll check in with you later.
Yeah, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Not having me.
Oh, goodness.
Having me on
again,
the show.
People, we're not fucking.
Not yet.
Oh goodness, not ever. Oh man,
not ever. We're cool. We're gonna be business partners.
There we go. All right, then. Peace.
I'd like to thank our guests for coming on today. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, send an email to otap@writeme.com. Follow the conversation on Twitter by searching the hashtag OTAP. That's OTAP. You can also follow me on Twitter @TheRealShitty. That's shitty with a C. You can find the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher by again searching OTAP. On behalf of our guest, I'm your host, Corey, and I'll see you back here next week on the Air Podcast, starring you.